Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Nagual Zone. My name is Anaam, and today I would like to talk to you about a curious thing that I've seen in people, and that is I want to talk about becoming hyper aware versus hypersensitive. So on the path of the warrior, the whole journey is about becoming more and more aware, how to hone your awareness, how to make it keener and sharper and more fluid than ever before, and on and on and on. At least to a certain level, because the average man's baseline awareness is so abysmally low to the point of being negligible. Really, there's nothing there because of the working of the foreign installation in the mind, which is constantly working to sap our awareness. And then there are external forces arrayed against us as human beings. And so the whole battle, the whole war of the warrior is to gain more and more capability for awareness. Okay, so hyper awareness is, it'll seem like you've become hyper aware, but actually if you were to step into reality, into nature, if you were to just find yourself naked in a forest, that would become your baseline awareness. You would need that to exist, simply to exist. You would need that base level of awareness. But the indolent and bored modern man, the average man, to them, because it is so low, the awareness is already so low, that just a basic level of natural awareness seems like hyper awareness. So that's why I talk about hyper awareness. To me, it's natural awareness. What is hyper awareness? If you walk into a room, you should be able to immediately feel very fine gradients of temperature change, for example. You should, at any given time, including when you're sleeping and including when you're fast asleep, at any given point, you should be instinctively able to know a familiar sound from an unfamiliar sound. Your awareness and your attention should be sifting through. That's what I call hyper awareness or jungle awareness. You should be aware of all the audio surrounding you at all times. That bird that chirped over there, that vehicle that went by on the road, the creak of the door, everything. You should I don't care if you're watching TV or you're just for the warrior, these are baseline awarenesses that you are expected to have switched on at all times without fail. And that's what requires training. I'm always harping on about training. Reading Carlos Castaneda's books is not going to give you this. You need a benefactor and you need training. There are certain tools that the Toltecs developed to be able to do this. What are other examples of hyper awareness? Just things like when you move, notice your capability to notice things around you in your surroundings. Especially if it involves routine, predictable routine. So for example, you take the same elevator to your work every day, and you've done that for years, and so it's become a blank for you. You do not notice it anymore. But notice it every day. It doesn't matter if you've been doing it every day for the last 50 years. That's irrelevant. You've got to notice that elevator, the new scratches on it, or has it been painted again? lift your head up from the damn phone and look around. So, a warrior and a phone don't really mix together anyway. You would have guessed it by now. There are phone protocols. The warrior uses the modern technology. In fact, I disapprove of people who feel like they're lost. But I'm a warrior. I don't know what eBay is. I don't know. I don't know. What is this? What, are you playing a game? Why are you indulging like that? You're surrounded by artifacts and gadgets. Use them. Learn to use them properly. Learn the inside and the outside of them. That's what impeccability is all about. You're living in this time. The modality of this time should demands that you be totally in sync with the technology of this time. Now, don't be going about, oh, I don't know, what is Amazon Kindle? I only read books. Yeah, okay. You may prefer proper books to an Amazon Kindle, but that doesn't mean you don't know anything about it. There's a difference, right? Hyper awareness. It also includes awareness of technology, includes awareness of current fashions. Not that you have to now become some kind of fashion peacock, but just don't be old-minded and cling to that as a justification for who you are. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Move with the times because you're a warrior. Be fluid, like water. Now, water fits into a cup or a teapot. You remember who said that? So be like that, guys. Hypersensitive, on the other hand. I mean, unfortunately, I move in a lot of New Age circles, and I'm telling you, man, there's nothing worse than a New Ager. There's no human being more deluded, more removed from reality as it is than a New Ager. I promise you this. And these New Agers, what the average, okay, let's stick. What the average man does is, if they are aware of something new that they weren't aware of, the first reaction is fear. Okay? And the next, what does fear bring? Fear brings resistance into the system. So anything, as the average man, if he is fortunate enough to become a bit more aware of his surroundings, the first reaction is of fear and resistance. So, oh, pollen is now an enemy because it started to block my nose and all sorts of things is going on. Or everything becomes an enemy just because you're aware of it. Makes no sense. The warrior is not threatened by new levels of awareness. So that subconsciously nothing is becoming an enemy. Nothing is becoming an enemy. Pollution isn't an enemy. What are all these things nowadays that are touted? Extinction revolutions or whatever the hell that is. Nothing. No one is going extinct. Nothing is happening. You are not actually in control of anything. I'll do a whole video on this white man's mentality that has pervaded the world forcefully and strategically, has been imposed upon the rest of the world. So that if the scientists say it, it must be true. And if the scientists don't say it, it must not be true. If the government says it, it is absolutely true. If the government denies it, oh, it's conspiracy theory. You know, they're just nonsensical things, which has absolutely to do with awareness. Now, this video might seem like a little bit of a rant, but it's not. It's my stalking device. It's my device, communicative. It's my way to stalk through this video into a new level of insight for you guys, so that you can see clearly where you create resistances. If you know where resistance and awareness is connected inside of you, and disconnect that. It doesn't need to be connected. there are so many things in reality that are freak out fear inducing, no doubt about it. But if you're, and you can only access those levels of reality if you are fully trained in if you're fully trained in your mind as a warrior. How do I put it? You know, you need to be grounded. You need to have complete command over your internal dialogue, and have accumulated a vast cache of internal silence. Otherwise, any old thing, any inorganic being, any ally, any of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of unfathomable events and realities will just blow you off and make you run with your tail between your legs. So these things take training, and we unplug these responses that are not in, you know, that are not what a warrior does. I hope this video is actually making any sense. But hyper awareness versus hypersensitivity. Be hyper alert, hyper aware, guys, but don't turn that into some kind of hypersensitive reaction to things. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, enough for today. I shall see you guys again soon, and walk in freedom.